The Promised Land for the Israelites is of course mentioned only in the Bible. The Quran too, echoing the Bible, asserts that it was Allah who promised the land to the Israelites in very clear and precise Arabic verses. So, on what grounds do the Arabs claim that the land of Israel, as well as the whole of Arabia, are their own?
The land of Israel was promised by God in very clear biblical verses to the descendants of Isaac only. The expressions promised land or land of promise, al-ard al-maw'uda or ard al-mi'ad, do not appear in such manner in the Quran, but in the Arabic translation of the Bible. In the Quran, the promised land or land of promise is mentioned in Al-Ma'idah 5.21. O my people, enter the holy land, al-ard al-muqaddasa, which Allah has unto you assigned. Allah had written, kataba Allahu lakum, and turn not back ignominiously, for then will ye be overthrown to your own ruin. Muqaddasa, holy, is from the Hebrew Kodesh, and is not Arabic in origin, since the Arabs use the term muharrama, forbidden, regarding their holy places. This verse is extremely important, since it verifies and confirms the claim of the Jews to the land of Israel. Al-Ma'idah 5.22. They said, O Moses, in this land are a people of exceeding strength. Never shall we enter it until they leave it. If once they leave, then we shall enter. He said, O my Lord, I have power only over myself and my brother, so separate us from this rebellious people. Allah said, Therefore will the land be out of their reach for 40 years. In destruction will they wander through the land, but sorrow thou not over these rebellious people. All the Quranic verses of this surah are obviously not found in the same manner in the Bible. They are all composed, altered, and recited from Muhammad's own fertile imagination. Al-A'raf 7.137. And we made a people considered weak and of no account, inheritors of lands, al-ard, in both east and west lands, whereupon we sent down our blessings. The fair promise of the Lord was fulfilled for the children of Israel, because they had patience and constancy, and we leveled to the ground the great works and fine buildings which Pharaoh and his people erected with such pride. By both east and west lands, the Quran affirms the biblical narrative that assigned the promised land among the 12 tribes of Israel on both sides of the river Jordan. Yunus 10.93. We settled the children of Israel in a beautiful dwelling place, and provided for them sustenance of the best. It was after knowledge had been granted to them that they fell into schisms. This is Muhammad's rephrasing of the biblical description of the promised land as a land of milk and honey. Al-Isra 17.104. And we said thereafter to the children of Israel, Dwell securely in the land, Uskunul arda. But when the promise of the final days come to pass, we shall gather you together in a motley crowd. Al-Nur 24.55. Allah has promised to those among you who believe and work righteous deeds that He will of a surety grant them in the land inheritance, لا يستخلفونهم في الأرض, of power, as He granted it to those before them, that He will establish in authority their religion, the one which He has chosen for them. Al-Rum 30.6. It is the promise of Allah. Never does Allah depart from His promise, but most men understand not. Since never does Allah depart from His promise, then the claim by the Arabs and the followers of Muhammad to the land of Israel is obviously null and void. In the Bible, Genesis 17.7. And I will establish my covenant between me and you and your seed after you in their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a God to you and to your seed after you. And I will give to you and to your seed after you the land where you are a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. And God said to Abraham, This is my covenant which you shall keep between me and you and your seed after you. Every male child among you shall be circumcised, and he who is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you. Every male child in your generations, he who is born in the house, or bought with money from any stranger, who is not of your seed. And as for Ishmael, I have heard you. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he father, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, whom Sarah shall bear to you at this set time in the next year. Since the alleged Arab traditions are derived entirely from the Bible, the pagan Arabs having had no knowledge of the biblical events before Muhammad's Quran, then they should accept the crystal clear fact that the land of promise was for the Israelites only, just as the Quran itself also asserts. Furthermore, it is alleged that Muhammad instructed that 2 religions cannot exist in the country of Arabia, and subsequently almost all the Judaized and Christianized Arabs were expelled from their own native lands by the followers of Muhammad. So the Arabs claim both Arabia and the Holy Land as theirs, contrary to both the historical records and the religious ones. All the Arab and Muhammadan theological, historical, and political contortions cannot, should not, and must not be allowed to succeed.